Welcome to Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. Here we are on the downhill side of the week and the downhill side of the month of October. But there's nothing scary coming for the rest of the month. We're going to go through the rest of this week. We're going to go into Halloween weekend, and we're going to go into a large part of next week with nothing looming large for the Rockies and the High Plains, even the Pacific Northwest. There's just really not a lot going on. We're going to have moderating temperatures through Friday. We're going to step backwards with a little bit of a weak cold front coming in Friday night and Saturday, but it's not much of a front, folks, especially compared to the last one. Most of next week, a couple of small systems that may produce a little bit of mountain snow shower activity, but there's really nothing next week coming our way that is looming large. Now, if we were to take a look at a week from this weekend, it's a different story. Long-range charts are getting in a little bit of a better agreement, bringing the next wave of cold and snow into the western United States during that 8th, the 12th, maybe as early as the 7th time frame. We'll take a quick look at that. This is where we are today. A couple of things to highlight. Here's Hurricane Zeta, which is going to zip really fast today into the coastal areas of the Louisiana Gulf Coast area later this afternoon and tonight. Here's the part of the storm that came through over the weekend, bringing ice and snow all the way down to the Rio Grande. That's going to accelerate this way, drawing that hurricane up, while high pressure here along the west coast expands a little bit more to the east. Now, as we work our way into Saturday morning, here is that cold front that's coming through Friday night and Saturday. It is going to usher in some cooler air for Saturday after we warm up here over the next 3 days, but there's very little moisture associated with it. By Wednesday of next week, by Wednesday and Thursday, kind of a diffuse trough, nothing really major. You can see the colors are all stacked up in Canada, meaning the main weather, the main jet stream is going to ride along up here for most of next week with just weak troughs coming through the western United States. What this equals basically is a pretty benign stretch of weather from this weekend through most of next week. But look what happens further out. This is by next Friday. This area of low pressure and cold air up in the Gulf of Alaska, that pocket of it right there starts to get pushed south and east because, look at that, we see a high pressure ridge wanting to build in the Gulf of Alaska, which opens the door to the cold up here. So this looks remarkably similar about what happened, well, this past weekend. Another wave of what will probably be Arctic air could be arriving, knocking on our door by next Friday and certainly by next weekend. If this pattern does develop with the high pressure ridge in the Gulf of Alaska by that weekend of the 8th and 9th, and that time frame is when the door to cold comes back in, it gets open, and snow returns to the western United States. And this is what the cold looks like by a week from this upcoming Monday. So by the 9th, 10th, we're looking at very cold air pouring back into the western United States. Warm air gets pushed out ahead to the Midwest and the eastern areas of the United States. Basically a repeat of what happened. A lot of times during the course of a season, weather patterns do repeat themselves, and we kind of see that the weekend after this one. In the meantime, though, enjoy this relatively quiet stretch of weather. Really nothing coming our way very interesting weather-wise through the rest of this week and deep into next. Taking a quick look at La Nina, these are sea surface temperatures anomalies right now as of today, as of Monday actually, and you can see the wide swath of green and blue there across the subtropical Pacific. La Nina well established. We still have this warm pool right here across portions of the Intermountain West. This is going to lead to this warm pocket if it continues. It's going to make it easier for those Gulf of Alaska ridges to develop. So as long as we see that warm pocket, we're going to have more cold outbreaks in the month of November. And if we were compared to where we were a year ago, these are sea surface temperatures exactly where we were in 2019. And you can see we had some cold water along the coast of South America, some pockets of colder water, but for the most part, we were in a neutral situation. The warmer water rather, was a little bit further west, more into the central Pacific. So what I'm seeing here is the potential for some cold weather in November. Thanks for listening and watching the Day Weather Podcast. We'll see you on Thursday.